students and their education is adequately portrayed. When you look at what we're doing by the manner in which we are testing, we're not really seeing the education of students. AYP does not even test for science, for social studies, or writing. Those are all subject areas that are extremely important. They are tested in the state standard. Our students did very well on them. The tests were very difficult, and yet they were not included in the AYP rating. There are many areas that are left out. When you look at what can students do well, there are many things that students have achieved at and have excelled in that appear not to be important to the federal government. We have students that have earned achievements at local, state, and national levels across the board. All of us do, and yet none of that seems to count. We have students that are performing at high levels in all kinds of extracurricular and of varied courses that the districts are offering over and beyond, yet none of that is included. It's very hard when you face the students and you face the faculty and staff and you know what all they are giving and all of the extra time and effort and heart they're putting in there, and yet none of that is what seems to be important. Our goal here is not to do away with accountability or assessments. We're all for accountability. We're for increasing standards. We want to be the very best that we can be. We know the world is changing. We want our students to be prepared for a global market. We don't want them to say, I learned how to take a standardized test at a certain level. And that's what I learned in high school in the earlier years. We want them to be able to think at a critical level, to be able to communicate, to collaborate, to be able to problem solve. We want an education that is project-based. When our students get on the job, they are not working in an isolated condition. They are working with problems, solving meaningful, relevant problems that are occurring in the job today. And they're working with a team to be able to do that. They need to be able to have the knowledge and skills to be able to research and to be able to solve those problems to make the world a better place for everyone. Our students are ready for that. That's what our students want. They feel like when they come into school and the time is taken away from them to be focused on just passing tests because that's how they're being graded, that's an insult to the students and their families, the community, our public at large. It is appalling. And you know, there comes a time when people who have a voice have to stand up and talk. We have a moral imperative to do that. We have students who have special needs. We have students that are in our district that come to us. We do not select our students, but we're honored and proud to be able to serve them. They come in with those special needs. We do our very best to provide a variety of intervention strategies and programs to help these people to be successful. And then what happens to them? By the federal government, they set a cap on these students that have special needs that says only 1% of your students with severe needs can take an alternative test, a STAR alternative. And only 2% of your students can take the modified STAR. All the rest of them take a regular STAR. If you have more students who take that test than the cap because they qualify for it and because the admission, review, and dismissal committee has placed them at that test level, because that's what they've said they deserve, if you have more, even though they pass, they count as a failure. That is appalling to me, that we can take students, any student, help them to the very best of their ability, they work to overcome difficulties, and they pass, and then yet they count as a failure for the district. Then in turn, the district's score is lower. That's why we're here today. If those students were not here, some of us would not have a problem at all, because our other students have all passed the test with flying colors. But because some students who had a more difficult challenge passed it, they were still counted as a failure. That is only one example of what is going on in accountability today. And if we stand by and we let that continue to happen, students who are achieving well in your all population or all student population say, why should we even try? We will not be able to make the score because we have enough of these other students that are going to pull us down anyway. If you are the student with a special need, how would you feel to know what you've gone through? And even though you passed, you were the reason your district or your campus was pulled down. That's not what we're about. We're about helping students. We want to help them to believe in themselves. We believe that there is a spark, that there is greatness in every individual. And our job, our responsibility, our honor and privilege is to help each and every student to be successful so that they can go out in this world and make it a better